Welcome back again, guys. This is Don with Rocketeer Gaming, coming at you with a new RTS review of Tribal Siege. That comes from developer Bodokumen. Looks to be their first foray into the game development. So let's get right to the review and see if this game's worth buying. Right now, it sits in the Steam Marketplace for $20 or $18.99 plus tax, so right at around $20. It's on sale for $17.99, so there's $1 off. There's not much to say about it. It's in early access. It's been in development for a little while now. There is one thing to note, that they did accidentally release this in Steam as a full product and not early access. So do note this is an early access game that you are buying into at the moment as of June 13th, 2017. So please do note that this is not a full game. It is only in early access. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and go over some of the menus here. One thing I did find out that was really good about this game is the kind of control scheme. And a lot of RTSs, you have to do a lot of clicking to build buildings. First you have to click your peons, then choose the building. They skipped that here. Here they have a lot of shortcuts to build buildings, and your peons, you can just tell them to go, hey, and build it. That's really the only bonus I've found so far with this game. It doesn't have a lot of meat to it at the moment. You only have 2 playable characters. One playable character, but the symbol's different. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe that's the team name. It is from a Chinese developer. They do also have another about the maps. The maps are choke point maps. So here is the bridge map, the Mill Valley map. You can see the choke points, and oh, I skipped it. Mill Valley. There we go. One thing you'll notice is that the user interface is kind of ugly, which is a kind of a theme with early access games. A lot of early access games don't try to get a good UI off the bat. They will just put something together, make sure the game core functionality works, and then release it and upgrade the UI in the future. This can be up to 4 players, and I don't know if the multiplayer is online or not, but they are using a cloud server, and there'll be a TCP direct connections available. So we'll go back to single player. We'll get a match started here. It'll be me at Dobu versus Dobu. We're just going to do normal standard resources. I don't know what this Trampler, this is the god that you create, and that you use to control. This is an RTS ACT hybrid game where you do have RTS elements, but you do control a god or a main unit with the WSAD keys. And it plays kind of like a MOBA. You send out your troops to attack, and then you'll use your main god unit to destroy their relic, and that's how you'll win the game, which you'll see here shortly when I get the match started. I may not finish the entire match because it is kind of dull. The combat's kind of dull at the moment, and it is it's kind of slow paced. There's not really much to say about the combat right now, except that it needs a lot more polishing. There's going to be 2 main resources in the game. It's going to be your food and your piety. You'll see, here we go. These are my peon units. Yes. It's kind of hard to see them. The graphics are not the greatest, so hopefully they'll use a couple different color palettes. It makes these a little bit more viewable. But you'll see I can have my buildings, build my buildings without having to select my units, and they'll automatically go over there and start building that, which I think a lot of RTSs could benefit from, because a lot of times having to go and find your peons and tell them to build something is quite annoying. So your barracks are going to allow you to build more peons, to build more buildings. Everything that you build requires food and piety. Building these houses increases your piety, your food and your piety a little bit, while you can also build a temple, which will increase your piety a lot. I'll go ahead and send out my units. There's not a big variety in units at the moment. You're going to have your mounted units. You'll have your really strong melee units, and then you'll have your weak ranged units. That's my train of thought there. And that's really going to be your main units that you'll start out with the game, and that's all there is in the game at the moment. And you'll see the interface here is not the prettiest, not the most useful, but it gets the job done. It gives you the information you need to let you know, hey, these are my resources, this is my unit count, this is my enemy's relics health, what I'm currently building. Build this. One thing I really dislike about the current scheme, if I click on a building, and you'll see a lot of times you'll see an X, this actually destroys it. This doesn't close the menu. So you can't just go and close out of a window. You have to actually click somewhere off the screen. And I actually have deleted a couple of my buildings when you create a unit, which I'll show you here in a second. Build this building. What's wrong with you guys? So it is early access. There are some bugs. One bug was that the game completely crashed on me when I launched it, which I actually had to go and reboot my computer. I don't know what was going on with that. It could be something I installed. But that was a thing I had to deal with. I don't know why these guys are not building that house. I'll just have them go over here and build this. I don't know what to. I set the unit cap at the beginning. It's 30. There is a quick little help menu. Again, it is quite an ugly sight to look at. Hopefully they clean this up and allow it to be a little more readable. This is pretty much the game right here. I got the enemy on the other side over here. That's their relic I have to destroy. That's the RTS element. And you do have a guard that you can control. So by clicking this little button here, I can now control him with the WSAD keys. These heavy swings, I guess it does kind of work. But you'll see, I'm highlighting it, it doesn't do anything. Using the spacebar allows him to attack, or it does his attack. And it does a couple different ways. It does a heavy, straightforward, and it also does a side crossing swing. Alright, once your piety runs out, he will turn into a stone, and then you'll have to wait until your piety regenerates. And then he's stuck right there where he's at. Alright, now I can generate some more units here. Another note about when you're generating units, you can control how many units you are building at a time. Well, crap. So if I want to build 5 units, I move that to 5. There's no way to cancel it. See, here's where the problem lies with building units. See, now I want to close. I said I don't want to build so many units. Now I'm stuck. If I click this building, I will delete that building. I can't just right-click. See, I'm right-clicking, but it's not removing the unit. Alright, now you see, I'm going to go ahead and finish building these houses here. We need more houses. Yeah, I will get into some of the combat elements, but this is it. You can see how slow everything kind of moves. It doesn't look like there's a way to increase the speed of the game at the moment. It is quite slow, and the pathfinding is something that needs to be desired. It is not the greatest. I tell my guys to go over. They only go across the bridge. I'm trying to get them to go down here. And even mounted units, look how slow that is. I would not recommend buying this game right now, as it is a $20 game, and this is what you're getting. I would wait. I do like the concept. I'm not saying this is a bad game. I'm just saying that it has its flaws, and it is an early access. And hopefully the developers will address some of these flaws, but you never know with early access games. Some of these can just get dropped. They're in it for a cash grab. But Bodokumen, it seemed like they're very interested in feedback from the user base. They're very active in their forums and asking users, hey, please tell us what bugs you're finding, what issues you're having with the game. So they are very vocal, and they are helpful in that respect. That I have emailed them about the error, and they get back to me and said they're going to research it. So that was nice to get a quick feedback from the company. That gives hope that this game will be a well-polished RTS, and I'd like to see it when it finally gets done of what it's going to become. Let me go a quick overview of some of these buildings. You're going to have a quick settlement, which is going to be your housing units. You're going to have a tower, which will be for defending, which the other game I reviewed the other day did not have towers, which I was kind of surprised. Usually a lot of RTS games do have towers, so I'm glad to see that in this game that you do have towers you can build. The fencing build, the wall building in this game is kind of cool. Currently, it's a little bit pricey at 300 food, but I do like how you can just click and then you're not getting just random walls built throughout. They actually kind of clip to each other. If you can get it to build the wall. And I want to... well, I can't get it to build a wall. Maybe a gate first? No, can't do that. Oh well. We'll go ahead and build a factory. Scratch that. When the wall building gets implemented into the game, or patched in, it seemed like a really good concept of how it kind of clips together. Age of Empires always had it where the walls would have to kind of just be built at a time. You can design it, but they don't really clip, so sometimes you get really weird wall formations. The temple allows you to generate a lot more piety for your main god. Your barracks allows you to build, again, just the basic units here. And then you have a garrison, which allows you to build your more stronger units. They're going to be your cavalrymen, your axemen. Did they finally move down here? Oh, they did. Look at that. Did they move there? Oh. So it's a really early access. This is in the beta, or alpha, as they said. So if you do want to buy this game, note that this is the final product as it is right now. Well, that pretty much covers the majority of the game. The combat also leaves a lot to be desired. It's currently I don't think there's much strategy to it. Just have overwhelming forces and send it over to the enemy base and hope that you kill them all. It seems currently the catapults are the strongest units, and they just decimate the enemy. So you can kind of see their base. The enemy is going pretty good. And the enemy will invade you. Play this on a medium difficulty and hard difficulty. And the hard difficulty, I feel like they still need to polish the AI a little bit. And you see the combat's really not that glorious. I'm over here trying to kill some of their minions. They got a lot of them going on. And then just the minions themselves are decimating my little bit of troops there. So the balancing seems a little off as well. But that's it, guys. This is Tribal Siege, an early access title from Bodokumen. I'm not going to play the whole match, as it will take about an hour to try to beat the enemy. It's just very slow combat at the moment, which I don't think you want to trudge through. And I'm doing this live, so I'm not going to fast forward and kind of show you what a massive amount of combat goes in. Looks like. If you'd like to know more, you can request. I can do another video if you like of a little bit more combat-focused tutorial or overview. But that's going to conclude the first impressions, let's play of Tribal Siege. Hopefully it becomes a fully polished RTS game in the near future. This is Don with Rocketeer Gaming. Take care and see you again.